Welcome to Boomer Being. Today we'll be taking a look at foods for a healthy life. My guest today is Dr. Barbara Pathak, an MD who also holds a Bachelor of Science in Nutrition. We're going to show you some of the healthiest foods you can buy. We're basing the foods on the book, The 150 Healthiest Foods on Earth, The Surprising Unbiased Truth About What You Should Eat and Why, by Dr. Jonny Bowden. To narrow down the foods from the top 150 to more manageable 11 foods, we referenced a New York Times article written by Tara Parker Pope in 2008. Parker Pope asked Dr. Bowden to update his list to include some of the favorite foods that are easy to find at the market but are not always in your grocery bags when you leave the store. Welcome, Dr. Pathak.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yes, wonderful to have you.
Thank you.
So why don't we get started, and you can tell us about these 11 healthy foods.
I'd be delighted. The first item that we're going to discuss are beets. And these are packed with nutrition, namely potassium, which is very important for nerve and muscle function, folate, which helps to build the cells. It's very important for pregnant women to consume beets and for the folate intake. Copper, which is critical to our metabolic and immunity functioning. And so the nutrition in the beets is great for anti-inflammatory, for antioxidants, and for your metabolic processes and your cardiovascular health. Athletes often consume beet juice as they report an increase in stamina after doing so. And let's not forget about the greens. They're also packed with nutrition. And in fact, they have more iron content than actually spinach does. And so don't throw it away when you're preparing beets. You can saute it with some olive oil with a little salt and pepper. And for the preparation of the beets, you can roast them or consume them pickled. And so I'm going to put these back and go to our next item. And later today we'll be making a salad. We'll be grating the beets into our salad. And the next item is our Swiss chard. And Dr. Bowden describes this as the vegetable valedictorian. It has stupendous nutrition in it. It has vitamin C and A and zinc, which is very important, again, for your immune system. And I want to mention a study that reports that children with ADHD, there's an association with lower zinc levels. So if you're diagnosed with ADHD, don't forget your nutrition. It's very important, and Swiss chard is an excellent choice for your zinc content. So again, like the beets, there's great antioxidants, anti-inflammatory. It's got compounds that are fabulous for your eye health and your cardiovascular system. And I have discovered that when you saute the Swiss chard with just a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper, it's just fabulous, really delicious. And our next item, as you can see in the basket, we have two different colors of cabbage, red and green. And cabbage has a superb amount of vitamin K, which is very important for your clotting system, as well as vitamin C, contributes to immunity and the health of your skin, teeth, and muscles, and potassium, which gives you energy. And there's also compounds in the cabbage which are excellent for cancer-fighting abilities. The early settlers used warm cabbage leaves to place over their abscesses. Now, of course, if you have an abscess, seek medical attention. However, I mentioned that story as a testimony to the healing power of cabbage. You can eat them raw or fermented, as in sauerkraut. You can steam cabbage, for a couple of minutes and then saute them with olive oil, salt, pepper, and caraway seeds. And the taste is fabulous. Or you can make a coleslaw. Now the next items we'll be discussing is the pomegranate juice. And I just love pomegranate juice. It is, of all the juices, has the highest antioxidant level. And antioxidants are important to preserve the integrity of the cell membrane, so it protects the cell. It's also fabulous for your circulatory system and stamina, and it slows the aging process, which is why I love it.
I guess all our boomers should take note.
Yes. And I do want to mention that when you're purchasing the pomegranate juice, you do not need any added sugar because it is sweet enough. So avoid added sugar to the juice that you choose. And I will show you the actual pomegranate fruit, which you can cut and eat the seeds. Fabulous nutrition, which we will be using in our salad a little bit later today. Now the next item to discuss, I'm going to say they are dried plums, which is a little more glamorous way of saying prunes.
Right.
Doesn't have the reputation for being the most glamorous fruit. However, so good to eat. It's loaded with nutrition, such as iron, potassium, and fiber. It's very good for your digestive system. And I want to tell you that the digestive tract holds 70% of our immune system. So good colon health, which our prunes, dried plums, give you, is also very imperative for good, healthy immune functioning.
Interesting.
And they're delicious as an ingredient of a fruit compote.
Yes.
And the next item now to discuss are our frozen blueberries. Superstar, the ultimate brain power food. And Dr. Bowden had mentioned just a half of a cup a day gives you fabulous memory and brain power support. And studies have demonstrated that not only does it help the communication between the brain cells, but also brain cell growth.
I was surprised when I read the book how he said that if there's anything you want to do for yourself for good health, eat a handful of blueberries daily.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. And there's nothing not to love about blueberries. It's beautiful, packed with nutrition, great for the brain, and very versatile. You can use it in smoothies, on yogurt, plain, in salads. I just love these blueberries. Very powerful.
Good.
The next item to discuss are sardines. Now, Dr. Bowden describes the sardines as health food in a can because it is packed with minerals and vitamins and nutrients. Everything you need is in sardines. And they also have a high level of omega-3s, which is a good fat and is good for the cell membranes. One thing that I want to caution our viewers about is that when you buy sardines, make sure it's packed in virgin oil or its own sardine oil, because if you buy it packed in vegetable oil, the vegetable oil has a tendency to have high omega-6s, which is not the good fat. So you don't want to counter the good effect of the omega-3s.
Now, I wanted to ask you, some people just plain don't like sardines, and I understand they're incredibly healthy. Is there something they can substitute which will give them that same bang for their buck, so to speak?
Yes. You get the same nutritional quality in salmon. You can substitute the sardines, if you don't care for sardines, with salmon.
Thank you. Good to know.
Dr. Bowden came up with this list for not only nutritional quality, but also accessibility of being able to find it, and ease of preparation and storage, and easy to eat.
Yes.
Which is why he chose sardines.
Gotcha.
And the next item that we're going to discuss are the pumpkin seeds, which is actually the most nutritious part of the pumpkin. and they are delicious if you roast them.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, roasting them increases the protein content of the pumpkin seed. And the nutrients in them, the minerals and the magnesium, are great for supporting muscle health. So you can sprinkle them on a salad or just eat them plain as a snack.
Excellent.
And our next item to discuss is the pumpkin, canned pumpkin. I just have been delighted with the new discovery I've made in preparation for this show about the canned pumpkin, because it's so versatile, so packed with nutrients, and in particular has an extraordinary amount of vitamin A, which is important for your immune health and your vision, your eye health.
Oh, wow.
And it's so versatile, like I said. You can use it in pasta Alfredo or prepare soups. Pumpkin soups with a little bit of curry is just absolutely delicious. You can also consider putting it in mashed potatoes, for example, as a little bit of extra color and flavor. And if you're baking, like for example, if a recipe calls for some applesauce, you can substitute that with the pumpkin.
You know, I'm glad you just mentioned color, because it's obvious that all these beautiful foods, the cabbage, the Swiss chard, the beets, the pumpkin, the blueberries, are very rich in color. I mean, there's no coincidence there, is there?
No. And in fact, the color in our food reflects the nutrients, the compounds that make up the nutrition of the food. And so the vibrancy reflects the nutrition.
I thought so.
The next item, before we move on, I want to also mention that the canned pumpkin is ridiculously low in calories, and also the Swiss chard, so you can eat without guilt. Now, the next item we'll be discussing is the turmeric. And I just love the turmeric because it's got such an interesting taste. It's very delightfully tasteful and beautiful. So when you use it in your food, you get this beautiful color. It's very appetizing.
Yeah.
And Dr. Bowden refers to this as the superstar of spices for its powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effect. And also your liver loves the turmeric. It's good for the liver. If you have hepatitis or elevated liver enzymes, it's very good. And of course, if you like to cook being closer to the earth, like less steps between the earth and what you consume, you can buy it in the store just like this and grate it.
Again, before I started reading the book, I just had never seen the turmeric root. I just only had seen the powder. And it looks very much like the ginger.
It's fun. Food is fun.
Yeah.
Food's very fun.
It is.
And I also want to mention that you can enhance your vegetable dishes or scrambled eggs by using turmeric. And a recipe for a sore throat, it's very soothing if you mix some turmeric with honey, raw honey in particular. It can soothe the sore throat. That's how powerful its anti-inflammatory effect is.
Interesting.
It's also been reported, along with our next item, to decrease arthritis pain. And so this is cinnamon, and it just smells delightful. I begin each day by putting the cinnamon in my coffee ground, so it's a beautiful way to start the day. It's high antioxidant effect as well as anti-inflammatory. Again, there's been reports that it can decrease arthritis pain. It helps to regulate the blood sugar, so it's good for diabetics. And also it has an ability to lower your LDLs, which is the bad cholesterol. And it's been reported that just smelling the cinnamon improves your memory. So it's delightful. I'm going to treat ourselves to a smell of cinnamon. I'll give that back to you.
Thank you.
Lastly, I want to mention about the cinnamon is that it's very digestive friendly. So if you have some nausea, it can help with that. It also can stimulate your appetite.
Well, that was the 11 foods already?
Yes, it is.
That went so quickly. Well, I understand that we're going to try to do our best to take as many of these as we can and make a meal.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to that.
So why don't we
Talking
get
about all
started?
this foods make me hungry.
What have we got?
Well, we're going to be preparing a cabbage beet salad.
Should I start with the beets, since that's the noisiest?
Yes, let's do that.
I took the liberty of peeling and peeling the beets this morning because my hands turned completely red. So if you have an old-fashioned box grater, you can use that, on the beet. However, I recommend a food processor simply because it's much cleaner. So here we go. We'll start with some beets. Just pop them right in here. And I always use a safety device. There's a little bit more. Okay.
Good job.
Thank you. Next?
Next is our cabbage. You can use either the purple
Okay.
cabbage or the green. The combination together is absolutely beautiful. And the first thing you want to do is cut out the core.
Okay, so here's the core.
Okay.
Here, we'll put that back in the basket.
Okay. Put this back in the basket.
The core is just a hard piece of the cabbage that you really wouldn't want to consume. And it pops right out with a sharp knife.
Okay. I'm going to try and catch up to you a little bit.
And I am just going to cut mine in half again and slice it up. There we go.
This cabbage and I are having a little bit of a struggle, but we'll get there. Okay. Put that back. It's beautiful. And I think that the beautiful vibrancy of these colors, too, also stimulates the appetite. Visual appeal is very important in enjoyment of food.
Oh, I think so, too.
Okay, and then you shred it.
We'll just do what they call a rustic chop
Okay.
in the interest of time.
Alrighty.
And to that cabbage, we'll add the beets.
All right.
Beautiful. Look at the color.
It is gorgeous. The vibrancy of the colors, again, reflects the compounds that give the nutrition of the food.
Now, to utilize more of our wonderful 11 healthy foods, we've prepared some pumpkin seeds, which we roasted with a little turmeric.
Yes.
And it gave them a beautiful
Color.
and why don't I toss this
Vibrancy.
a little bit?
Would you like me to add these?
Let's use them as a garnish on top.
Okay.
How about the...
That's a great idea.
Should we do the marinade?
Yes.
Okay, and the marinade is 4 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 of rice vinegar, and I wanted to mention the ginger that we use, because the ginger, comes as a big knobby root. So what I learned on the Food Network is I bring it home, I cut all the knobs off, and then just with a plain vegetable peeler, I peel off the skin, although I've seen people do it with a spoon. It's really very simple to peel. And then what I've learned to do is just get a baggie and freeze your ginger root. It looks like this. This was frozen when I arrived at the studio. And I just take the microplane and I just turn it into a very fine powder. So
Oh, I can smell that. It smells so delightful.
I know, and if you
Yeah,
have
it really
it,
stimulates the appetite.
it does. And if
Yeah.
you have it frozen ahead of time,
Very pleasant.
and it's just so much more flavorful than what you can get out of a jar.
And ginger is very helpful if you have an upset stomach.
Yes, like many people use ginger ale. Well, this looks absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful. Would you
Oh,
like to?
yeah, I would
add
love
our,
to.
We have two garnishes, don't we? We have the pomegranate
oh, yes,
seeds.
pomegranate seeds.
You can add.
Okay.
I have a spoon if you need.
I think I'm doing all right like
Great.
this. And then the time. Okay. And I just wanted to quickly mention our rice vinegar is good for your colon health as well and helps to regulate blood sugar.
Shall we have a quick taste?
I would love to.
All right.
Oh, that looks beautiful. So delicious.
All right. And the other plate. Just give a quick taste. Thank you.
And that's for you.
Wow. Came
As
out-
beautiful and delicious as this looks, it tastes even better.
Great.
And so healthy, which is also gives it an added flavor to know you're eating something so healthy.
That was delicious.
Yes, it was.
So for our second dish, to further utilize the ingredients, I understand we're going to be making a smoothie.
Yes, a beautiful, tasty blueberry pomegranate smoothie.
Wonderful. Let's get started.
Okay. The first ingredient is a cup of frozen blueberries. And then we pre-measured this out.
Okay.
And then a cup of the pomegranate juice.
Okay. And the next ingredient.
Half a cup of bananas.
Okay.
And as an added nutritional boost, you can add some leaves of Swiss chard or kale or spinach.
Okay.
And last, the 5 ice cubes.
Okay, let's see if we made it to the fill line. I think we need a little water just to
Okay, that's a good idea.
get to the fill line. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
I can't wait to see how it tastes with the Swiss chard.
It just looks so beautiful.
I
think the Swiss chard will give it a little tangy taste.
Yeah, I mean, because I have made smoothies with spinach, but
Yes.
never Swiss chard. I sure hope I got the top on tight.
I know. Yes.
Can you have that towel just in case?
Yes.
Because, okay, I think it's tight. I'm going to cover this just to be on the safe side.
Okay. That's a good idea. Oh, beautiful.
Looks good.
It looks beautiful.
And we didn't even have an accident.
No. Like we did in preparation. Be careful to ensure to put the top on tight, or else you get this sort of a
All over.
artwork all over your kitchen.
Which happened to us. First time we made a smoothie. All right.
Oh, that looks so delicious.
Vic?
I feel healthier already.
Me too.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
That was delicious.
I would never know I had a vegetable in there.
I know. And it gives it just a little bit of a tangy taste.
Yes, it did. So I understand now why all these foods are so healthy. Would you be so kind as to give us an overview of what we've learned?
Yes. The essential part of good nutrition is keeping it close to the earth. And by that I mean the less steps from the earth to your consumption is you're going to maintain the higher nutrient quality. And stay away from processed foods. There's ingredients in there that aren't necessarily good for you and chemicals I can't even pronounce. So the closer you stay to Mother Earth, the higher your nutritional quality and enjoyment will be.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And thanks for being with us.
It's been my absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed myself. Thank you.
Good. And our thanks to Dr. Bowden and to Fair Winds Press for allowing us to talk about the 150 healthiest foods. Thanks for being with us on Boomer Being. See you next time.